the problem with Naruto Storm connections. What do you think the problem with Naruto Storm connections is? And I gotta say this right off the bat because on the first video that I did with Gotcha or Venge, it, I start off with doing a combo support Jitsu switch, and Itachi does the punch. The chakra flares up, and then the Jitsu doesn't come out, and my circle button got eaten up, and the Amaterasu doesn't come out, and he just disappears, and then Hidan just dashes forward, and there's no support. There's no support dash. There's no support Amaterasu Jitsu, and I'm okay with that taking chakra and everything, but I wanted to set myself up, and I mean, right there and then, the bloody connection in this game, right? Not connecting in connections in any Storm game. That lack of stability online and inputs being eaten up drives me nuts. Anyways, let's start off with that spicy tidbit. What do you think the problem with Naruto Storm connections is?
I mean, to give you any other answer than that is just like disingenuous because it's the only to me it's the only problem that if it was solved we could actually focus on the game, and like we would like there'd be less discussion about whether or not that interaction went the way it was supposed to. It's like it's I hate it from the sense that even the games I win, like you feel nothing because you start to doubt yourself. You start to second guess yourself. Oh, is my opponent lagging? Like I don't know. Maybe I won that match. Maybe I didn't. Like how am I ever supposed to know if I'm improving or getting worse or staying the same if I have no feedback whatsoever of whether my opponent was having like a good connection or not? Like just show the ping. Like if nothing else, if you don't want to fix the netcode, just show me how many milliseconds he's lagging and how much and what my delay is at the very least, just so I can say okay, he's like
And
at
frame rate counter, like in
five
Dragon Ball Fighters.
or a frame rate, yeah, for the
I
frame
think
delay, yeah.
both. I think what we need is both.
Show
I want
both,
to see the ping, a small number in the top left corner, and I want to see the frame rate as well, a
yeah,
small number there on the bottom of the screen. And
yeah,
then I can compare the footage with you, and we can literally see exactly what happened. And then instead of this guessing game of
yeah.
did you
It's
lag or
it's
did
it's
I lag?
it's insanity. It's
It
not
is
fun at
insane.
all.
It's pure insanity. It's pure insanity, and that's why I literally just started playing Overwatch again, even though I love Naruto way more. Is because it doesn't give me those headaches. You know,
Yeah. It's like
I'm
the
at
the old the problem with Naruto Storm Connections is we're not playing offline. That's the problem.
the problem with it is we're not playing offline, true, and the problem
Yeah.
is that we don't have good netcode stable online,
Yeah.
and then everything from there. Because
It's the
like
only thing I want.
it's the only thing I want too. And the thing that drives me nuts is everybody asks me, what do you think of the new Current Eye DLC or the next two DLC after that? Or is there going to be a season two and all this? All that stuff is great. I would love to have Anko in the game. I'd love to have small things like Hinata's wedding dress, the black wedding dress when she was on the moon or whatever, and all that stuff. You know, I'd love to discuss all those things, but we keep building this massive roster that's not balanced. Okay? We're not even balancing those
Mhm.
characters. We don't even know exactly how to balance them because they all operate differently with different frame rates or loss of frame rates online because the connection's not stable, right? So like a
Mhm.
perfect example is when you play 30 FPS versus when you play 60 FPS frames per second, right? The game plays very differently. Certain combos will land or certain uh, priorities will change with hits. Um, there's certain infinites which will land. I think it's like the uh, what is it? It's the PTS pre-time skip Kakashi in Storm 4. I think on 30 frames per second it works, but then like you go to 60
Yeah,
and
in
it doesn't
Storm
work
4.
anymore. There's stuff like that, right? Like I don't know if that's true or not still, but there is stuff like that. I hear about it all the time.
In
So
Storm 4 it's different. And I know in the patch for the Big Pounds patch that added, I think it was Ishiki. Uh
yeah,
I know
Yoshiki.
there's apparently something was happening in the 30 FPS version that wasn't happening in the 60 that they addressed. So like there's probably some more like minute differences that are just subtle and hard to track, or they don't happen as frequent, you know. It's like
Yeah,
a
no,
chameleon. It's hard to spot a chameleon in a forest when you're staring at it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do remember those patch notes saying
Yeah,
that they changed something that worked in one of the frames, 30 versus 60, and didn't in the other. So,
yeah,
but there's no way they addressed all of it.
right.
It
It was
just,
just the thing that was more obvious, you know.
or someone brought it to their attention, right? And
Yeah.
whatnot. So, hmm. Okay, here's another problem that I know you know is a problem. So I was actually playing a friend online in rank because it matches you. The matchmaking is skill-based matchmaking, as much as it can be, right? Or whatever it thinks skill is. So at some level, it does match you up with people of similar skill level. We'll say that much. I was matched up with a friend, and I was excited to finally play him because I'd never played him in connections, and he is very skilled. We're both very similar skill level. But then there's the whole lag thing going on. On top of that, he thought I was someone who I wasn't. He thought I was a fake imposter. Don't lose to fear. And in past games, very easily, I could have just gone on the mic in Storm 4 and be like, "Hey, is that yo? This is me. What's up?" And he'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, it's you, Fear." But instead, the entire time he thought I was fake, so he treated me a certain way because he's like thinks he's defending his friend.
Because
Meanwhile,
he has the defend your
Meanwhile, he's
honor.
fighting his friend, and I'm over here like, what the hell?
I
Who
must
do you
defend
think you
your
are? I'm
honor.
gonna
But
beat. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna beat you up. Like, I got you. Like, so it actually created enemies because of lack of communication, right? Not enemies, but it created
in the
a.
moment.
In the moment, it created an antagonistic opposition
Sure.
sort of thing, and it's crazy. It's almost like it's pure insanity. It's craziness, right? So like that is definitely a problem, right? Like the fact that we don't have. I get what it's trying to protect. I get that. Okay, we turn the mic off so no one can belittle anyone. No one could tell anyone horrible things about.
You're throwing out the good with the bad, basically.
You're throwing out the
Okay.
baby with the bathwater, right?
Maybe with the
That's what that term
bathwater.
is. So
Yeah.
what's your whole opinion on that problem in Naruto Storm Connections? That we don't no longer have a mic.
I mean, I like the fact that I no longer have to listen to people's music that they're blaring. I think that's incredible. I because it's like, no offense, I'm trying to listen to the voice lines of your supports when you call them out, and I can't hear over your rock music or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like that's a good change. But I mean, you could have just fixed that by giving me the ability to mute. Like that's all you have. I think that might have even been in Stormfall. I
Yeah, I
don't
think that was
remember.
in Storm 2.
I know it was in previous ones, but I don't. If it is, I just can't remember it.
You
It's
could
probably like
definitely
a
mute
right
people
trigger
in a
or
previous
something.
storm. I'm pretty sure it was Storm 2. And
Yeah.
it makes no sense why. That
I can't. I
fixes
don't.
everything,
I think I
right?
can't mute mid match. I think I could mute before. I think I could maybe mute before. I can't remember. It's been so long. But yeah,
Yeah.
just like give me the option to mute. That's it. Like opt out or
You know
something.
what would
You
be
know, a
good?
setting.
Muting before the match and then in the middle. You know how they're like begin, start. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, like so you can hit the I think it's the start button or the select button. There's a button you can press to pull up like the IDs of the players in the match
Oh
or
yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
the endless. And before I think their name would turn blue if they're talking. Um, all you have to do is just like do like okay, if I hold that button, it just mutes all players or something, or if you're in an endless, maybe you can navigate it through a list or something.
So definitely
But
they should bring it back. They should just,
yeah, just bring back the ability to mute. That's it. Because it's like I let it be there for the people that need it. Let it be there for the communication between two people. I think especially in player matches, like now you have to send them a message, and maybe they leave because you didn't rematch quick enough because you're actually typing a message to say, hey, GG, you want to try these characters or something or whatever,
and meanwhile
change
they
teams or
think, "Oh, this
something.
guy's making me wait. I'm not gonna wait.
Yeah,
I'm out of here."
right,
So
but now
literally, that
instead of that, you're like,
communication
oh,
breakdown is so
shit,
bad,
you're
right?
making me wait. Yeah, so literally, you just need you need the dialogue communication for player matches. You need it for endlesses. You need it for all of the modes where communication is important. Ranked, I would argue that ranked you don't need as much communication, but I think for instances of lag, I think the communication needs to be there. Or just sometimes you do meet friendly people on ranked, but it's ranked has always been more antagonistic, the player base towards each other than any other mode. But I still think it should have it. I still think it should have it. And if I don't want to experience, if someone is belittling me or whatever, I can just mute them. Whatever. If I want to report them, whatever. I like it. I don't know. That's about it. Just bring back a mute option, and that solves that solves any problem of why they removed it. The only reason why I can think they removed it is if for some reason it broke something somewhere else. You know, that's like the only thing I can think of because there's no reason to remove it.